keep going till my speakers can't blow. I'll keep going till my speakers can't blow. I'll keep going till my speakers can't blow. I'll keep going till my till my speakers can't. I'll keep going till my speakers can't blow. 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 Till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Kidia.
Hello everybody and welcome. We are here with some EU action in ECL Season 50, Cup number 3. My name's Hayes and I am joined by Mr. JRT, and we're going to be carrying you guys through this matchup and the game to follow in South America a bit later, man, so we're locked in.
Yeah, we're ready. I'm excited for this one, honestly, between Monte and Partizan. Obviously, you got some changes coming through on the Partizan side, where, on the Partizan side, where we have 8-Kit playing along with Nopsy. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how those two players kind of slot into the roster. But yeah, overall, I think that both these teams kind of feel like they've been on the rise for quite some time, in particular, Monte.
Yeah, that's true. Monte do seem to have just been in a pretty good place in recent times, really going from strength to strength with this roster. I'll just touch on the changes with Partizan first.
Yes.
I mean, Nopsy kind of coming into this as a bit of an unknown prospect. I think he's played like one season of ESC main or something like that. He hasn't played much at all.
There's not much.
So it's just like they're bringing up some new talent from the region, I suppose. But it's going to be very difficult to replace Collins, who had taken over as the IGL after Emmy had departed the team. And now it's that same guessing game that we had when Emmy left, because it was like, well, who's the IGL? Okay, it turns out it's Collins. Now we'll be asking the same question. I highly doubt that it's Nopsy. I think he's only 18. Is he? Let's have a look. 22. Okay, so he's a bit older, but I'm almost certain he isn't the IGL from what I heard from Grimmy. Just means I have no idea who it is again.
I mean, if Wikipedia is to be trusted, and usually they're pretty good about this. Kindo is listed as the IGL right now,
Okay.
After Collins left the roster, and Collins was listed as IGL before, so maybe it's Kindo that's
Okay.
calling, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, is this what he wanted, or is this just the best option available to them, right? Because
Probably the latter.
you don't really want to become an IGL because it's like you're forced into it. It's something that you want the person to want that role and to be taking it on voluntarily. Talking about Monte, you're bang on. They've been in a pretty good place lately. I feel like Azuru is playing some of his best Counter-Strike. I know the ratings don't really paint him in that light, but I mean, just based on what I saw from him yesterday against Sinners, he had a very good game. Ryu is also just looking incredible. I mean, I think it's a good boost for his career. He was playing in the Monte Academy team where Gizmi was the IGL, and now they've both gone across to the main team together. So you've got Gizmi, who's got a really good understanding of a player like Ryu's skill sets, and how he wants to play the game and get the best out of him. So yeah, I'm pretty high on this Monte team at the moment.
Yeah, I am too. I think Ryu and Gizmi, being the younger players that were from the academy team, still being on the squad, they're still building around them is fantastic. Ryu has impressed at every single turn, sitting at a 1.16 rating right now. And, Afro still being here. 2 additions to the roster a while ago. The other one was dropped from the squad, and his name has slipped my mind, but I'm going to remember eventually. Haji, yes, it's Haji. But Haji was not nearly as successful as Afro was in being added to the squad, so it kind of made sense for that to be changed up, and that happened a while ago, but still, bears mentioning. And overall, I think that you don't really have much of a weakness on this squad anymore. I feel like they're built really well. They do go the distance oftentimes into 3-map series, but they are getting More wins than losses, I want to say. You do have a little bit of a mix in there, but overall, they're competitive no matter who they play. And I think that's the most important point right now in the Tier 2 space.
It's been like a decent period that they've been at this level and that they've been improving for. It's like over the past 2 months, if you just scroll back their results, like you say, there's some red in the mix, but there's more green than red. And the red's generally against like pretty respectable opponents, Inner Circle, Betera, Sangal. You see Copenhagen Wolves, it's like, okay, maybe that's a bit of a rough loss. Of course, this is also a rematch between these two teams. They played against each other at the Birch Cup LAN, where Partizan just straight up manhandled Monte in particular in the second map. And we're going to get to see the same maps featuring. We didn't touch on the veto just yet. We have had the maps confirmed, and we can just go over it here quickly. Okay, so we're going to have Dust 2 as the first map in the series, that being picked by Partizan, and then the response is Nuke. So again, we're going to be running it back.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if it goes the same way as it did last time. Let's not forget, Collins had a significant contribution in that series, right? He had 36 frags, a 1.33 rating. If you look specifically at Dust 2, where it was domination for Partizan, Collins actually had 17, led the server. Rating wasn't at the top, but still 1.41 rating, very, very solid. So he's probably going to be missed. We'll see if, if Nopsy can fill that void well. But I feel like just purely looking at the maps here, obviously you can just look back at that previous series and say, okay, well, Partizan's going to have the advantage. But I still feel like, Dust 2, very strong on the side of Monte. They've got a 10-6 record, same kind of strength over on Partizan sides at 17-12. But I mean, overall, if you go map to map here, it's not going to look bad for either team, really. I would even lean more Monte's way.
I would too. I think that it is a pretty happy hunting ground for both of these teams. I think that Nuke this time should work out for Monte. I mean, this has been a very good map for them. They've got a really well-oiled machine on that map. In particular, their CT sides have actually been where they've done most of their best work. T sides yesterday against Sinners, when I cast this team, left a bit to be desired, especially on Dust 2, and Mirage was the other T side where I wasn't particularly impressed from them. But it did feel like it was maybe just a bit more of an off day than a massive systemic problem. Gizmi is a proper thoroughbred IGL who has completely owned that role since he's even just come into the space as a player, right? So now he's going to be calling against someone who's just been taking over that role, and maybe that could be a bit of a diff in the series, right? No, I normally joked about like IGL diff, but could be a real thing in the series, I think.
No, I agree with you. I mean, look, IGL diffs matter. When you've got more experience on one side versus someone who's just picking up the role because they are the best fit, I believe that is the case. Like the only one that makes sense right now on the side of Partizan with Collins taking a step back, then absolutely Gizmi could potentially call circles around his opposition. I mean, definitely on this T side, it gives you an advantage, maybe not as much on CT side, but mid-rounding is going to be important. And that tends to be, a high pressure situation where, IGLs that don't have as much experience may crumble, whereas the ones with more will call the better mid-rounding. And I think it comes down to that, which is why if I'm Monte, I'm playing things slow. I'm trying to, take advantage of the fact that the other team might be a little antsier than usual.
Yeah, and I think that we might be seeing a bit of an oversimplified T side from Partizan because they've got the guy who's kind of just taken over and he's trying to find his footing within the role. So maybe there could be, opportunities for Monte to catch Partizan off guard, maybe try and exploit that bit more of a simple style that I'm expecting them to play, trying to get Nopsy up to speed as well. Remember that there's a lot on the line for both of these teams, with this being a lower bracket matchup in the ECL Cup number 3, right? Both these teams still looking for a win here to get themselves into the Season 50 EU finals. Of course, Parivision won Cup number 1, BC Game won Cup number 2, and if you win one of the 4 cups, you then get yourself into, like I said, the EU finals, and then there's a spot at Pro League up for grabs. That's ultimately what everybody's playing for in this competition.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you want that spot. There's money to be played for right here in each cup, of course, right? $12,000 to the first place winner is nothing to be shake your finger at, right? It's pretty good. But at the same time, they want to make that progression upwards and get to that spot in Pro League. And I feel like, there's a lot of already Partizan or Paravision along with BC Game are two teams that we've got our eyes on for multiple reasons. Jane being on Paravision over on BC Game, you got Simple playing, but Partizan did beat BC Game, right? right? You can still compete in the cups even if you won a previous one. And Partizan taking care of business up against Simple, and they've had a pretty decent run after that. Sashi and Tapu Tapu are the teams that they defeated, but I would say Monte's had the harder lower bracket. Cybershock, who have been on the rise lately, won 3 maps there. Favbet, same thing, 2-1 victory, 3 maps, and Sinners as well. Again, another 3-mapper, but those are 3 teams that are very much difficult to face off with. So not a surprise necessarily to see those matches go so close, but it's good for Monte to get that experience under their belts and prep for a Partizan rematch that, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, kind of favors them because of the way they've been playing lately.
Yeah, it's true. I tend to agree with you. I mean, Monte were dropped into the lower bracket in the second round as well, so they've already won 3 games. Like you mentioned, those 3 matches have all come through the lower bracket, right? Partizan, like you said, big wins as well for them. Also, they've also won 3 games in the lower bracket, so it's been a pretty grueling run for both of these teams up until those points, and for one of them, it's going to end here today. Winner gets themselves into the lower bracket semis, where they'll play against the loser between Johnny Speeds and Sangal. Actually don't even know which team that's going to be. It could be a pretty close game between those 2 teams, but you just look at the names left in the competition: Zero Tenacity, ESC, Sangal, Johnny Speeds, Monte, Partizan, Alliance, Guns. It actually feels super open-ended. Like, I'd probably have ESC as my favorites just based off of recent results, but it could be anybody's cup.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, this is very much a balanced kind of a series. Sorry, not just a series, but balanced teams that we've got going into the potential finals. I mean, I'm with you. ESC probably number 1, but I could see Johnny Speeds making a run at it, or perhaps even Z10, who've had their success as of late. I'm personally leaning towards this matchup determining the winner of everything. I feel like these are 2 of the strongest teams right now that remain in contention. But we'll see how it goes. Still, like, I say that they're the favorites, but it's not like an alarming favorite, like 90%. It's more like 60, 55% favorite out of this matchup, because as you mentioned, any of these teams could come out and win it. And I think that's great. I think just makes for exciting Counter-Strike, right?
Makes for healthy competition, absolutely. And it means that every game that you get is going to be a banger as well. So I'm all for it. It'd be even cool to see like Alliance versus Johnny Speeds, 2 of the Swedish teams that have really had to fight super hard to make some names for themselves, getting a chance at qualifying for Pro League. Yeah, there's a lot of cool storylines for all the teams that are still in the competition. I mean, Z10, imagine they could qualify for the LAN, after having brought Madden into the team a good couple months ago. Everybody wants to see more of ESC on LAN. Sangal ended up losing Kenzie, but they've still been able to band together a pretty cool group of players. There's it doesn't really matter who makes it. I feel like it's going to be an exciting one regardless. Yeah, no question. And actually, curious to see overall, the recent changes we saw in Counter-Strike with the diffusals, if those will have an impact at all in the upcoming matches, right? Because it's not, I think maybe as always is with a change in Counter-Strike, maybe a little overblown with people getting a little panicky saying clutches are gone in post plants. No, guys, like, come on, let's relax a little bit. Yeah. It's 150 milliseconds. It's 0.15 seconds. Let's keep that in mind. I used to play Valorant and I play Apex on that ping all the time, guys. Like that ping permanently, okay? You guys will be fine. I have that built into my game. Exactly. Every time I'd have to try and defuse the spike or whatever it's called in Valorant. Like, that's just stand. Welcome to my world, actually. Yeah, it doesn't feel nice, does it? Actually, it's really not that bad. I completely agree with you. You know what? I kind of like the changes. The way you used to be able to, like, defuse the bomb but still scope in, and the guy would hear you scoping in, he's not sticking it. Like, that felt a little bit messy. Like, you're busy defusing a bomb. You shouldn't be able to scope in. And then it's also, like, it's not as easy to just stick diffusers anymore and then, hold an angle, and then as soon as you see the player swing, you get off the diffuse, you get the kill. It's like there's a bit more of a risk involved in sticking the diffuse. Yes. And I like that.
I do too. Yeah, that's exactly my point. It's like a little more risk involved in going for a fake diffusal, for example, and you have to calculate that in now, as opposed to it being kind of a clean advantage for the CT to go for the fake diffusal and gain an edge on the oncoming T. So overall, I think it's good. I think that you still will have enough time to pull off of it and get a frag if you need to. But the biggest change, I think the best one, is that you can't scope in, and you have to commit yourself to the diffusal at least during that moment, which, I mean, nerfs the oppers a little bit in a post plant, but I think it's still fine, because most of the time, if you're in like a 1v1 scenario, which is where this will be the most relevant, I would say, you're going to have a rifle anyway, right? You're not going to favor the op unless you're, Jame or something going in for a clutch.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Something it'll take a little bit of getting used to. There'll be a few moments where it probably catches players off guard, but then it'll just become second nature. And a week from now, rather, everybody will forget that it was even something they were so upset about, right? That's one thing with the community, is they're very quick to complain, but they're almost equally as quick to move on. So they'll just find the new thing to complain about. They'll forget about it, no doubt.
Yeah,
Not sure what we're waiting for. Hopefully going to be getting underway soon enough. Maybe Tomasz, our producer, can give us a bit of a word on what we're holding on for a bit longer. I think that there's probably some issues with, might be Gizme or something. Just see that quite a few players disconnecting and reconnecting for Monte. We've had a bit of a server change, so probably should be able to get underway momentarily. Okay, we're starting soon, TM. Seconds away is what the voice in my head says, and you know what, this voice in my head is pretty trustworthy. Generally knows what it's talking about, so I'm gonna back it on this one.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be good to go very shortly for this one. I'm excited to cast it, so I can't wait to get into the action. As already mentioned, we haven't seen, or I personally haven't seen much of Nopsy or Aidkit, so, it's kind of a first look at this level of play for me to see if they're up to snuff against the Monte squad that hasn't had to have such changes. They've kept this current roster for a decent period of time now. I think it's been 103 maps played, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves correctly. Yeah, 103 maps played with this current roster together as we go into the action.
Wow. Aidkit has just been dinked, but because it's at a decent range, he's taken 99 damage. Kind of unfortunate there for Afro that he hasn't actually been afforded that kill. He really wants to go deep for the frag. He should get caught in the fadeaway. That's super lazy there from Afro not to consider that there could be somebody coming through from lowers.
5v4 early here in favor of Partizan. Dragon looking around saying, what can I find here? What is going on? Well, nothing towards mid. The rest of the team is heading into Cat, and he will join them. 2 players waiting on A for Monte. And this will be an important engagement here. There goes a little bit of util. The smoke going to get tossed. Still a Molotov and a splash available for Partizan, but they throw the Molotov in towards T. It attracts Ryu, who gets flashed immediately. Then Dragon with a beautiful headshot onto Bemis. It'll be a 5v2 in favor of Partizan. Full control.
Yeah, everything just going according to plan. Yeah, for Partizan, getting that opening kill initially, just kind of not overextending or overcommitting in any direction, able to find another kill, and then from there they can just use the numbers advantage. Nice clean shots from Dragon in particular. It's going to be a flawless pistol round for Partizan, winning it by keeping all 5 players alive as they announce themselves in the series.
Yeah, that's fantastic for them. And I mean, I know we were painting a pretty picture for Monte coming into this, but it's not to say that Partizan aren't good. And I hope we're making that clear, because they are a solid squad. It's just we got some question marks in the mix because Collins decided to step down from the team. Nothing about his performance either. This was purely his own decision to take a step back for his mental health. And that's totally understandable. We've seen it before, and it's important to be able to judge that yourself and say, yeah, I need a break. I need to take a step back, or else things are going to get worse. So yeah, got to take care of yourself, both physically and mentally, as we go into the second round of play.
Yeah. I also like that he puts that out publicly, because it's also just almost, takes away from some of the stigma of men having mental health and also sometimes needing to just take a bit of a step back and just, realign themselves and get back to healthy ways before they commit, because it's a grueling battle being in Tier 2 Counter-Strike. You're playing almost a game on average every day, if not 2 games in some instances, and your entire life becomes about Counter-Strike. So I appreciate that he put that out publicly there for the whole world to see.
No question. Not much in this round for the world to see, though. It's just an anti-eco. Bemis and Azu, last 2 standing. And Lion's going to take care of this. Yep, not even expected. Dragon gets the last onto Azuwu, and a clean sweep in the anti-eco for Partizan. Aside from, of course, that one blemish of Kindo dying towards Pit. That was Ryu hiding effectively in order to get that, but it doesn't really make a difference in the grand scheme of things. It's the only death so far on the side of Partizan.
Yeah, it's actually true. Just the 1 kill so far here for Monte. Going to be hoping for a few more to come their way now, as they do spend all their money rifles in play across the board. looking for that investment as early as possible means that they're not going to get the AWP in play just yet. And I feel like that's a big part of Monte's defense is getting Afro on that AWP. Look at this, though. I spoke about how I expected it to be a pretty simple T side from Partizan, with Kindo kind of coming to learn the ropes as an IGL, and it certainly has been the case. I mean, Dust 2 definitely one of the maps that you can get away with that sort of just numbers-based approach, just playing 4-1s, grouped up, death ball, Counter-Strike. And immediately they try to go B, they get smoked off, they think, okay, well, the protocol is we can now shift our numbers in towards middle and short.
Okay, little detail there, Kindo's trying to bait out a peek by dipping his toe into the Molotov, but no one's biting. So he just sits there waiting. And Monte will do the same on the other side. Afro's got the util ready, the flashbangs. Excuse me, the smoke is ready to toss, and he finally throws it through for Cat. As Partizan are slowing down the pace. Gives me a little bit of spam, connects onto Kindo's shoulder, but he's not too worse for wear. Getting the smoke ready to be tossed there to give themselves an approach towards the A site if they want to, but this feels more like a fake that he's trying to pull off because the rest of the team is postured to go to the B site through a mid to B.
Do you really like the way that they've gone through their motions and processes? They've just been undisrupted, been able to do whatever they've wanted up until now. Gizmi goes down. It's not going to cause a big problem on the B bomb side itself. They still have 2 players here, but it means that there aren't going to be any rotations. Ryu the one to draw first blood. Azuru just remaining tucked in towards Car's going to go down without a kill. And him going down empty-handed is a big problem for Ryu now, who's fully committed in at the back of the platform. Realizes he has to try and take the fight on his terms. In the meantime, at least both Bemis and Afro have gotten a kill, so it's even numbers on the retake.
Yeah, that's actually a really good contribution from Bemis and Afro. I didn't think that they'd be able to get that much, but Partizan slipping a little bit. Still a retake on the B site with only 1 piece of util, so it's not going to be easy. They're hoping to be given a fight, but Partizan are doing none of that. Bemis trying to play off that flashbang here, you'd imagine, but no, flashbang goes right into the void. And now 8kit's going to find Afro, only 1 left. Bemis makes it a 1v1, but cannot clutch out the situation. Vladin still perfect here at 4-0, gets the win, and a 3-0 scoreline for Partizan.
Yeah, big problem is this moment right here where Zulu goes down without a kill. He was flushed out into the open by Dragon. The molly burns him out and then able to get the job done in the post plant. Wasn't the cleanest kill out of Vladin. I was watching that grimacing a bit, thinking Bemis might be able to have a quicker kill to time to kill rather, but doesn't work out that way. Like you say, Partizan remain flawless. Vladin yet to die. It's going to have to be a half investment now from Monte. I will mention, I saw Monte on this map yesterday against Sinners, and Azuru had a stinker. I think he ended with like 4 kills. I don't know if he ever got any kills on the B-bomb site, and Sinners went there a lot, so he's going to be hoping for an improvement today.
Yeah, I mean, for his sake, obviously, you want to see a little bit better, and for the team's sake as well. Looking at the map, okay, we'll talk about it after. Azu is going to get 1, and then A-Kick pulls out the off and says, don't even need the scope. Gives me you're gone. Although some frags do come through here for Monte. It is Bemis in a 1v2 clutch scenario, and again towards the B side. He may just call it off. He may just decide to save the gun and the armor, and that looks to be the case. Not really much temptation. There's an op on the ground that he could grab. There you go, and he's the heck out of here. So it will be a Partizan 4-0 lead, but at least, damage done by Monte in a round that they didn't invest too much into, and they get an op out of it.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good return, all things considered, getting as many kills as they do, and Bemis, like you say, being able to keep the AWP in play. It's going to be a 4-0 start here for Partizan. And let me tell you, Partizan have got a solid CT side on the map, and I haven't even checked the numbers. That's just based off of memory. And knowing that Vladin is the B anchor on this map, and that he is so difficult to traverse when he's on that B bomb side, he's got it down to a fine art. So if Partizan go like 6-all at a minimum, if they win the half on the T side, that'll set them up really nicely to finish off the job from there.
Yeah, I mean, their CT round win percentage is pretty good, sitting at 54.6%, 2% higher, 2.5% higher than T side. But yeah, I mean, overall, they're great on both sides, but I agree with you that CT side can be very, very lethal. The only loss they've had, actually, over the last 8 maps was against X Inner Circle, and it was just a dominating win for X Inner Circle. 2-13 was the end result. But outside of that, they've won everything else. So it was kind of an aberration on a map that has been going very much Partizan's way. And I'm wondering if that was the first one that Kindo was calling in since the departure of Collins. I'm just going to check that. And no, Collins was still in that one. Okay, so I was thinking maybe it's just the adjustment period, but not the case. Just an exception to the rule, let's say.
There's some impressive sculpts in the mix there, right? Bet Boom, Foot, Monte, Anonymo, maybe to less of a degree, but still some impressive wins nonetheless for Partizan. Like you said, they've been formidable on this map in the past couple of weeks, and it's now on Monte to see if they can fight back in the gun round. Good work from Afro, who will be pursued there by Kendo. Can't continue to force the issue. They're running out of ammo, has to commit to the reload. Knows there was a play towards the boxes. Best him as well. Zulu trying to hold down the line. He gets a frag back, ready for Vladden to come through from tunnels. He needs to get this kill as well, but he won't be able to, leaving it all on Bemas. But he's actually on top of the bomb right now.
That's really good. I mean, he's obviously going to try and clear out some space, but doesn't really have to move from this position. With 35 seconds left, you almost give the advantage to Bemis in this situation. We'll see if he can hold on. Looking around, trying to find the targets. Eventually, Partizan realizing that he has to be around the bomb. They need to get a move on. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. 22 seconds left. Finally, Vladden's going to arrive on the scene, making a ton of noise. Unfavorable duel for him. There's Bemis, spotted out. 15 seconds now. You're going to have to grab the bomb and just hightail it towards the A site at this stage. He grabs and goes B instead. Trying to gamble that Bemis won't go in this direction, but he's got the Molotov. I don't think there's enough time to plant the bomb anyway. He's going to try. Maybe? No. Just short of it. Dragon will hand the round over to Monte.
Okay, well, that's some in unlikely fashion there that it actually works out for Monte. Quite comedic at the end of the day with the way that he's able to get the job done there. Just by virtue of staying alive, Mr. Bemas. If there was an extra second in the round, maybe could have worked out differently, but good work from Monte. And surprisingly, I didn't realize they'd taken this much economic damage. It's just going to be 2 rifles for Partizan all of a sudden off the back of 1 round loss, and that round that they lost is going to be a costly one.
Yeah, I think a few of those rounds ended up being kind of close, right? 1v2 in the previous one, and even before that, it was a similar situation. So that's why the money's kind of in the gutter right now. But still enough to make a round of it, that's for sure. It is the 4-spy. Body armor's there for everyone, head armor as well. 2 AKs, and they might just try to snowball out into the B site. That smoke could slow them down, but I don't think it's going to. They're just going to go through it. Ryu trying to wait here. Oh, turns away, anti-flash. That's the mistake. Azu on notice, and he only gets 1 before falling as well. B site has been overwhelmed, and they may just call for the save on the side of Monte.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a game plan to try and exploit maybe some deficiencies that they've noticed, or is it just a coincidence that they're hammering home on this B-bomb site, but it's definitely been the main port of call for Partizan so far here. This is a big round for them to win, because it just keeps them in complete control by winning this 4-spy. Losing this, and then all of a sudden the game's completely opened up once again. Should have been a 4-3 scoreline, but it will go Partizan's way as they continue to tear ahead here on their pick of dust.
Yeah, Dust 2 has been, what I was trying to say earlier actually, is a very double-edged sword for Monte, right? If you look at the numbers, they have won 3 of their last 5, but then you look at the wins, one-sided, 13-7 twice, 13-6 once, and then on the other side, the losses also very decisive, 5-13 and 6-13. Even when you look back at actually the 6th match they played a little while ago against Hotu, 8-13. So, you know, they're either winning big or losing big on the side of Monte, and that's a concern. You don't want that kind of polarization on any map.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, the fact that they've gone down 5-1 here probably means that, history suggests that it's going to be one of the more one-sided losses for them, because they haven't really been able to fight back when they have fallen behind in the game. See if it can happen here in this round. They've got everything they need as far as weaponry is concerned. Got to start getting some kills, though. Just not really any big contributions. Bemas with 6 frags, so Afro, I was going to say, should get this kill. Surprisingly, it's just a tag on Kendo. He's also been tagged down to half health. Partizan again kind of leaning in towards this B-bomb site, but the bomb's still top middle, so they've certainly kept their options open.
Smoke gets thrown out there by Partizan towards the B site. The bomb is not in this direction. This just feels like a decoy at this stage. Trying to draw the rotations, pull Monte in the direction of the B site. Azu's got some visibility over the top potentially where he can info hop and see over that smoke, and now the smoke fades away and they won't see anyone in upper tons, so no reason to rotate at this stage. Interesting positioning for these two players. Cat op watching for the cross, and then the rifle to finish off anyone that gets past the op. But the op shot does connect, but it's through the wall. Gizmy is able to find the follow-up because the op has done its job by attracting attention, and now an incendiary toss to deny the trade. That is a very nice opening play by Monte.
Yeah, good sequence out of them to get themselves that kill. And Partizan don't have a huge amount to show for the fact that they're now 4v5 either. Does look like they'll probably try and connect the dots over towards the A bomb site with Vladen having this late lurk, but he's completely reliant on his teammates even getting him into a position where he can contribute. And Monte, with 20 seconds on the clock, that this should be their round every day of the week. B-Mus decides to go searching, though, surprisingly. Not sure about that. Now, look at how awkward it makes for the defenders on the A-bomb side. Problem could still be the time, but after it gets rounded on, they know that Gizmy's here in on Goose as well. He's been tagged. Oh, the bomb was dropped, though. I hadn't dropped, and neither did Partizan, that the bomb had been dropped.
Oh no, that was their round. Again, the time getting away from Partizan. That's the only reason they're losing rounds at this stage. It's their own fault. If they had the bomb firmly in their possession there, that's a plant. Instead, they just try to go for fights because time had run out to get it back to the bomb site. I do appreciate the way they played that, though. You know, applied the pressure onto the A site from both directions, allowed the long player to take care of Goose. Then the Cat player came in as well to continue their venture towards A. The problem is that Cat player was responsible for the bomb, so a small mistake turns into a massive one, as it will be a second round for Monte. We'll see if Monte can build around this one, though, because previously, I think he might have seen the header, just expected a poke up in that situation, a bit of a pre-fire from Afro. But in the end, he has to be careful, doesn't know how close they are, doesn't have a clue, he's dead. He's finished. Beautiful flashbang from AidKit, and Kindo will find the opener.
Yeah, Afro just in no man's land, a big risk from him. I mean, he had his initial outing, which was fine. Yeah. Doesn't get something from it, and at that point, you've just got to fall back around the corner or just hold a bit more of a passive angle so that you aren't in no man's land at that point. Way too easy for the T side to find an opening kill. Plenty time to play with in the round. Let this one marinate a little bit. Does look like they're going to go back in towards long here. I'm sure B-Mus has learned from his mistakes in the previous. He almost actually ruined the entire round by pushing unnecessarily. This time he's just out in the open on an off angle. Not going to be any flashes to pop through the door here, so let's see if he can find a couple. First one is free, and Kindo can't get the trade. B-Mus partly rounding the corner here, looking to try and take another fight on his terms, but he's been taken down. And again, it makes it really awkward and uncomfortable now for these CTs on the A-bomb side who are going to be forced forward in the meantime. Dragon goes through mid-doors, and he's now created a free path onto that B-bomb side.
They're just picking them apart one by one, you know, taking space in multiple directions. Gizmy does get a reply, but B is completely open, and now I feel like Partizan going to be like, oh, there's probably no one on B. I mean, after that spot. But Azulu catches Vladen, and then Gizmy gets Kindo. Oh my goodness, the man advantage evaporates. And AidKit's now the last one available. AWP in hand, time low. Gizmy's got the spot. AidKit the shot through the box, though. Now will lead to the plant. This is a wild round.
So brave from AidKit, and he gives himself a really good chance now in the clutch because he decides to go searching for a kill before he commits to the bomb plant. What a quick fire frag that was. Can't stand out in the open, yellow, and just gamble. He's not going to be coming through from tunnels, AidKit. You did so well initially, then to just completely risk leaving yourself open like that seems unnecessarily, an unnecessary risk to take.
What? Okay. For a second, I was like, Azulu, what's going on? But he wanted to get that AK. It's kind of cutting it a little close, but it should still be fine. Or he got one of the AWP. Yeah, he's fine. He knew the timings in his mind. And Monte do win off of the slow play mistakes that Partizan made in that second round that they gave over to Monte. So that's a good conversion. Cut the lead to only 2. Although, again, you know, kind of messy, even though they get the recovery at the end. They're lucky that AidKit was not holding the angle or not going for a more passive position where he'd be in cover and instead was out in the open gambling that he'd be going towards double doors.
There's just no good reason to fully commit to that as well because he knew that the kill was found on Catwalk, and so it's like almost 50-50 about whether Azu is going to go through tunnels or try and go up the ramp. AidKit, after such a good job to find that initial kill, then just fluffs his line straight afterwards. So it's going to be a chance here for Monte to draw within one. An eco round for the most part here. Just dragging his board up a Galil. Gives me blinded his vision. Don't need to see the heads of 3 players. Dragon putting that hero Galil to fantastic use. There's now another gun that's been recovered. And Kindo will immediately get a kill with it. The eco round running riot.
Look, I mean, Ryu's going to be alive still, so he could still do damage. He absolutely is, but now he's got the last one. No! Oh my goodness, what an effort from Ryu to try and pull that one back at 3K, but Kindo gets the jump on him in the end. Still good damage done and gets $200 more in the bank accounts for the CTs, but that's not what Monte need. They don't need all that. I mean, they do need the money, but what they wanted was another round victory once the rifles were in the hands of Partizan to really bolster them a little bit, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Partizan just able to really take care of business. I say that, I just realized, was that even a buy-up for Partizan?
No, just a hero Galil and an eco.
Oh my god. Like, it felt like a buy-up. That's how effective they were when they went in.
I mean, for that's where it feels like the map might have just slipped through Monte's fingers. I know it's still the first half, but if you're not converting those sorts of rounds, you're making life so much more difficult for yourself. Remember, they lost to the Force buy as well earlier on, so these rounds that are supposed to be going their way haven't been. Partizan not going to be making the same sorts of mistakes here against the Ecos. They're now going to guarantee themselves a lead going into the second half, and that's just 7-5 at a minimum. Could be far worse than that for Monte.
Yeah, and I mean, you also look at it, right, and you say, well, Partizan are responsible for 2 of those round losses that they suffered just by misplaying the time. It wasn't necessarily bad in terms of the executes. And you look at that solo round, you're like, yeah, Monte, they had to pull it back too. They were down a man. And again, you could argue that Partizan made the mistakes in order to hand them that round. So I don't know. I haven't seen a round that Monte have necessarily, I don't want to be harsh, but like earned, so to speak, off of solid play. And it's just individual efforts that have led to that victory, that third round victory, and the mistakes from Partizan.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, man. And that's just quite concerning for Monte. I mean, this is not like a punish pick against the team at all. This is a map that they've generally been pretty well versed on. So no real explanation as to why they haven't been as good as they normally are. 7-3, another gun round to follow. This one's worth 2 for Partizan, basically. You win this, 9-3 is almost a lock.
Yeah, no question. And I think one of the surprising things is that the ops haven't really made much of an impact on either side. I mean, sure, you saw a couple of shots from AidKit there, but you're looking at AidKit sitting at 6 and 7, and Afro on the other side at 3 and 9. I'd be more concerned for Afro at 3 and 9 on CT side with the op than necessarily the T side opping, because you need to be, you know, that key point of contact for your squad with the AWP on the defensive end, and that just isn't happening at all. Partizan are kind of dancing circles around it at this stage. We'll see if they can continue doing so, as the approach right now is just to play it slow and wait for Monte to show face, if they do. Nice flash though. Kindo gains space on Cat.
I feel like we've seen a pretty conservative CT side. Like, how many variations have we actually seen on the setup here from Monte? If any,
you're right.
Like, outside of Afro just maybe poking up short or catwalk in a round or 2 with the AWP, hasn't been any like crunches in towards tunnels or mid-round takes off middle where they try and fight both short and mid doors at the same time. It's kind of just lacked a bit of inspiration. Get that the standard approach is generally the best, but you just got to be able to sprinkle in a variation every now and again.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Push through tunnels could be a good option. You know that Partizan are playing this heavy numbers-based approach, which means there's always going to be some sort of space to exploit somewhere on the map.
You just need that victory that you get into the heads of the T's as well. You know, put that pressure on and make them think twice about going for their approach. Right now, it's way too comfortable for Partizan. I mean, look, they're running down through CT. I mean, Kindo actually jumped out from Cat to get that frag towards long, but still, I mean, great smokes thrown. No one's even watching it. 0 information. 4 players still alive. 3 of them are towards CT, and 1 is all the way at long, not really engaging just yet. So they're trying to get that first point of contact. That will help. The problem is there's the trade right before it that comes through. So it's just still not great for Monte.
This is unretakeable, I'll just straight up say.
Yeah.
It's unretakeable, and it was even in the 5v4 for my money. And when you look at their financial situation and you recognize that they don't have any money going into the last round of the half, they would have been better off just cutting their losses and giving themselves a better chance of getting 4 out of the half, where now it's going to be a rifle and BMUS, and then whatever they can force around it, making 9-3 even more likely.
Yeah, I mean, you have Ryu at 3,400 loss bonus, who will get 5k, so you maybe get a couple of rifles, but you're right. I mean, Bemis can actually drop one too, so 3 rifles and then a force buy won't be that bad. It's just not ideal, and no op available, I think, is the biggest concern. Not to say that it's had that much impact. It hasn't, but
Gotten
you
an
never
AWP
know.
kill yet?
I
Like
don't-
maybe one?
I don't think so. I think maybe...
Go back and
maybe
have a look
one?
at the kill feed here.
Yeah, you'll have to check.
He's got one there. Okay, he's gotten 2. He's gotten 2 AWP kills throughout
Okay.
the half. I mean, not fantastic, but a couple of kills. Oh, look at this. The Dak.
No.
Often do you see this, John? Barely ever. It's like a novelty at this point these days, man. Nostalgia.
Yeah. Because you have to have your loadout in a specific way now. You have to choose your guns. You can't just buy an auto whenever. And no, Nopsy, beautiful flash again from Aid Kick. Bemis had absolutely zero chance. It is very much a novelty to get that auto. I love it, though. I haven't seen it in a very long time. And it works well to get that spam through the mid doors. It really does put the pressure on the CTs to try and cross. It is just a dominating round again. Coming through from Partizan. Ryu and Azu managed to pull a couple back, but no way, no how is Ryu expecting Vladden to be on the B site there. And Vladden's like, peekaboo, I got you.
Yeah.
Azu, last one.
They must have just passed each other through the smoke like ships
Yeah.
in the night. And even though Ryu gets one, like you say, never going to be expecting Vladden on the other side. It's just Azu left remaining with an impossible 1 versus 3. Now I know exactly where he's coming through from. Vladden's going to rotate across. Nopsy does go down though, so maybe giving a bit of a path to Azu. He's just going to straight up drop the smoke on the bomb, continues to search for kills, but Vladden will be the one to take his head. An incredibly dominant half there from Partizan as they go up 9-3. Should be able to finish off the job from there.
I still liked what Azu did in that clutch, right? He gets the first onto the site, throws the smoke down, stays mobile and active, and tries to find that second. Gets close, in fact, and if he makes it a 1v1, I'm almost favoring him to take it, but as it stands, we head to the break.
Second half about to get underway here between Partizan and Monte. It's Partizan who are in the driver's seat, and that's putting it lightly. They completely dominated the first half. No consecutive rounds won by Monte on their CT side. That's going to have to change here if they have any chance of fighting back.
Yeah, no question. Onto their CT side, which is stronger for them. Dragon gets the opener, but Ryu will run down Dragon. And this is going to be interesting to see if Monte can make that comeback, as already mentioned, because of how good Partizan can be once the defensive side kicks off. And I mean, they do gain space towards the A side, but they're in a man disadvantage situation. I think Gizmi gets this plant. I'd be surprised if there's going to be a peek from Gandalf in this situation from Kindo. And yeah, he's just going to hunker down. They deal with Afro towards long. They're being very methodical about this. Now a double swing towards Gandalf. That's how much attention Kindo required. And that is going to cost them the round, I think, because now they know where both players are. The other three are collapsing in towards Gizmi. And there it is. 10th for Partizan.
Oh my, I mean, they are shooting incredibly hard right now. Some really clean taps in that round. Dragon initially, Vladin with 2 of his own. Nopsy the one to finish off the job. Monte just kind of like wheel spinning throughout the pistol round there, always chasing the round, never really getting themselves in any strong contestable position. And that means Partizan race up to double digits. Decision-making time now for Monte. Do they want to try and answer back as quickly as they can? Then risk maybe not having one full gun round in the second half. I honestly wouldn't have hated seeing them just save here and then get full AKs in the round afterwards. I know it would be 11-3 then, but if they lose this force buy, then it's going to be 12-3 before they get a full buy. And it's obviously too far gone then, so I don't know.
I've noticed teams
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is going to be dominant, you'd think, for Partizan. The Molotovs are in, the bullets are raining down. Vladin's got 3 before he's shut down. Dragon has to be careful now. He pulls out the USP. Better to go for the reload and fall back than to give a potential 2v3 instead of a 4v2 in your favor. Gizmi and Afro both below half health. And they're about to be engaged with. This is going to be a problem. Yeah, Kindo finds 1 and denies the plant as well. Kindo with 2, Vladin 3, and another dominant round from Partizan.
Looks like such a waving of the white flag. You're down 10-3, you go for the force buy, and all you have to fall back on is a B rush, like through an incendiary. Is this really what we're going to hinge our hopes on right now here? I know that the map is as good as gone, but still. And also, I did big up Vladin in the first half about his B anchorage. I mean, how's that for a display?
Yeah, I don't even want to say the map is as good as gone. 10-3 is very recoverable.
I agree.
You don't have to play like that, man. Like,
true, you're right.
Yeah, and I know teams are of two minds whether you force up or you save, when you're down by this much, but it's Kindo just taking care of business in the opener again. But like, I get both directions, right? I get when you want to keep the money and get the rifles out and, you'll be down 11-3 probably, but at least you'll have a good buy up. And I also understand the force ups because they're working really well right now in CS2. You have that peeker's advantage that you can kind of abuse, especially with the SMGs in the mix. And even when you've got Galils, it's a lot of bullets, 35 bullets in the magazine that you've got to work with. So I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But I expect a slower play. I expect something a little more strategic than what we just saw.
That's what I was going to add onto your points. Is if you're going to go for that option, then you've got to have some sort of layers to it. You've got to have some sort of a game plan. It can't just be, force buy and run into B no matter what. Or we all died. Okay. Anyway, it's going to be 12-3. This was the eco from Monte, and it means that Partizan are going to get 9 map points here on their map pick of Dust 2. They're making super light work of this opening map right now.
I mean, even with, the roster change coming through with Nopsy playing here in place of Collins, it's not really making much of a difference. I mean, he's serviceable right now, 8-8. I mean, letting a Dragon take care of a lot of the heavy hitting, Vladin as well. And yeah, this is the way Partizan usually succeeds. So let's see if they can get that 13th and end this one. Or if Monte will have something to say here in their gun round. No op available though.
Afro, with his AWP, is going to be able to find an opening kill. Nice work from him in a obviously must-win round here for Monte. So is every round that follows you in regulation, so might hear me saying that a couple times. At least you want to just try and delay proceedings and save face a little bit here on Dust 2. Just force Partizan to work a little bit harder to get across the line so that they don't just go into Nuke after this off the back of barely breaking a sweat. Good work here to find a couple of kills though. Going to get them a 5v3 and actually their first round of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the money situation, it's actually pretty good for the side of Partizan, but they want to keep it healthy. I respect that, not rushing into this and saying, we got the money, we got the lead, let's try and risk this for that end to finish the map quickly. But no, they take their time and they're going to keep the 3 M4s. That means they're going to get a comfortable op in the next one. And actually, yeah, I did have to correct myself. I mentioned that there was no op for Monte. There absolutely was an op available for them, as that was the opening frag. I was looking over on the other side for Partizan, who chose not to get it because they wanted to keep the rifles that they had, which makes perfect sense. But next round, they won't have to make that choice. An op will be purchased up, and they will be ready to go full power.
Yeah, I mean, Monte have won 4 rounds here on Dust, but none of them have come in a row. So
yes,
I wonder if that pattern continues.
They did get a couple in a row, right? They got that 2-round streak. I believe so. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. I see
think.
that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's so. Okay, they've won a couple rounds in a row. Can they do that again? Going to have to be a lot more than just the 2 this time round, but going to be another full by plenty money, even residual cash for Partizan. How have they built up so much money so early on in the half, man?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's been just dominant, honestly. That's how it is. And when you got those frags coming through on CT side, it's additional like $250 every time you're dominant, right? So it really adds up quicker than you'd expect. Anyway, right here in this round, Azuwu and Gizmi in towards mid, flashbang tossed. Pressure being applied by Partizan here. A lot more dynamic on their CT side than Monte were, and Dragon's going to get the opener on Azuwu and then falls back immediately. He's got what he was looking for.
Great opening kill. And now they can just bunker down. They don't have to continue to try and make any plays or disrupt the round here. That's what I was looking for from Monte. Those little disruptive, irritating plays, catching the T's while they're trying to set themselves up. 5v4 now for Monte, a real test. Plenty utility. How do they win the round from here?
They probably don't. With Ryu getting taken care of there. I mean, there's your lurk gone. The incendiary gets tossed towards Cat. Still 2 players waiting here. Aid Kit with the op. There's another smoke. This is such a difficult approach. Yeah, there's Aid Kit getting Gizmi. Aid Kit even setting up for a follow-up. Oh, dipping his toes too long in that, but it works out. Eventually he burns alive, but he gets a frag before he does. That's the second one, and it will be 13-4 in favor of Partizan as that one is wrapped up.
I mean, refresh my memory. Did we see any plays like that from Monte in any of their gun rounds where they're like trying to fight mid doors there, challenging their opponents in middle, and then even the push through tunnels that we saw at the end of the round, or the end of the half there, the end of the map rather, going through tunnels, taking the fight to the T side, looked super convincing for Partizan.
I don't think we saw it much. I can recall one moment when Afro got aggressive into mid, and it's right there actually, in that replay that we just saw. Outside of that, it wasn't really much. This is later on in the round, not in the opening moments in that one, and that's the one where they came back and actually managed to do it. But after that, they were so passive, they were so stagnant in their defensive side, and we even commented on it as it was happening right before our eyes, and I couldn't help but agree, because they just allowed Partizan to enforce their will and execute comfortably. And if you're not putting any pressure on the T's and they've got all that util, you're going to be in serious trouble.
Yeah, it certainly was a map to forget for Monte, but one that they can't afford to just forget. They're going to have to go back, watch the tapes, and figure out what went wrong, but there's not going to be time for that now. It's going to have to be a recovery on Nuke, and a map that they certainly will be backing themselves a lot more on. It's a map that they've been doing super well on lately, and it's a map that Partizan haven't had fantastic results on. So if there was a world in which Monte would be able to answer back, maybe it will be on a map like Nuke. We're going to be taking a short break, though, and then John and I will break it all down.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my till my feet become. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till speaker calm low. I'll keep going till my speaker calm low. I'll keep going till my speaker calm low. I'll keep going till my speaker calm. I'll keep going till my speaker calm low. I'll keep going till my speaker calm low. I'll keep going till my speaker calm low.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino. Uh-huh.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. I can run this town. Don't you know I got the
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Map number 2 about to get underway. It's the pick of Monte, and we are heading over to the nuclear power station. The Cedar Creek power plant is where the action is going to go down, and Monte are hoping to find a way to get a win here, John, so they can force the third map, because if they lose, they are out of contention from Cup number 3.
I mean, this is their best chance to get on the board, honestly. If you look at the maps they've played over the last 3 months, this is far and away their best one, sitting at 23-10. 33 times they've played it. Monte have been grinding it out in terms of the maps played, and sometimes that can take a toll, right? You get a little fatigued, and maybe we're seeing that here in this series. And even in the last 2 on Nuke, a 10-13 loss to Inner Circle and a 11-13 loss up against Favbet, so it hasn't been exactly flawless for them. Prior to that, though, a nice little 3-game win streak against Sashi, Sangal, and Cybershock. So I don't know. And I mean, you look on the other side for Partizan, yes, it's been a struggle for them most of the time, but bad news for Monte as well. Lately, Partizan have looked pretty good. You know, they lost 11-13 against BetBoom, which is very close against that BetBoom team that's kind of on the rise. Sinners.
Well.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say. And then 22-20 winning against Sinners in triple overtime, I believe it is. And then to Pud Cat B to Poo. 13-10 win. Yeah, that name always. Anyway,
Apparently it means 13. That's what I've been told. So I've just been calling them 13 or TPU because honestly I couldn't be asked to just pronounce that entire name. Like, that's what you get. You choose stupid names, you get called stupid things. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're into the action. Partizan get the choice of sides. Unsurprisingly, a CT side start for them. I'm right there with you. It's not like this is a guarantee for Monte by any stretch of the imagination. Not with Partizan looking as good as they did on Dust. As we go into the pistol round, Aid Kit gonna get caught off by Azubu, surprisingly, because Azubu wasn't discreet about the fact that he was in that position, and it looks like, yeah, Monte just going to streamline their way down through single door into this B-bomb site.
Nopsy is here, along with, I believe, Dragon. Anyway, he's going to go out here. Ooh, this is a bold plant. Yeah, I mean, Nopsy gets an opener. Could even get a second here before Gizmy gets away. Lucky that, at least from Monte's side, that doesn't happen, but they're losing the bodies. Dropping like flies at this stage. Afro trying to hunker down here in Decon, and does pop up to get the headshot on Nopsy, but it's still a 3v3 and very much within reach here on the side of Partizan. They're going to try and stick the defusal and body block here, but it's not going to work. Afro takes down 2. It's all up to Vladin now. 1v2 clutch required. Does get the first. Does he have a kit? I don't know if there's one on the ground somewhere. There is. He grabs it, goes to the defusal. He's going to need to stick it, and he can't. Azubu clutches it out in the 1v1, and Monte are on the board first.
Well, that gets a lot closer than it probably ever should have. It felt like that was always supposed to be Monte's pistol round. Nice attempt there from Partizan, it must be said, but it's going to go Monte's way. The smoke wasn't completely on the bomb, and Afro getting that kill just after it blooms. He spots the player. Getting that frag there was the kill that really tipped the scales into Monte's favor. Who are able to open up favorably here on Nuke. A good way to try and put behind them what had happened on Dust and really set themselves up for a strong performance on their T side.
War Spy in for Partizan. Couple of MP9s, the Scout, the FAMAS, and Kindo rocking the 5.7. And a slower pace here for Partizan. Or excuse me, for Monte in this round, which is what I was saying earlier, right? Like, on their T sides, it's better to take it slow, try and play the defaults, take advantage of the fact that you've got a caller on the other side that might not be as experienced, is not as experienced as Gizmy. But that didn't really make a difference on a map like Dust 2, which is, I think you already mentioned it, kind of makes sense because Dust 2 is not the most complex of maps. You don't have to really have anything crazy going on. But Nuke gets a lot more complex than Dust 2 will, especially in terms of rotations and everything you can make and the map control you need to have. Even on CT side, you have to have your protocols in place.
Yeah. I mean, that a bit less down to the IGL, but I'm right there with you with the points at large in general about how Kindo might kind of struggle in general to get to figure out how he's going to be calling on the T side of Nuke. Not nearly as simple, a lot more layered, and being able to make those decisions on the fly can sometimes be quite difficult for an IGL. I don't mind the game plan here for Partizan in this round, by the way. They completely give up the A bomb site, they stack ramp, they stack secret, and they just kind of hope that Monte don't go straight onto A. They gamble, and with that it means, okay, if they go A, we just save with everybody, we keep all 5 players alive. It's going to be an eco round in the next, but with the full set of saved forced bet weapons, so we've got a bit of firepower to work with. Not a bad game plan.
Terrorists win.
I was more reacting to your stats, to be honest. That's a very good conversion rate on the CT side in particular. You look at Partizan's numbers, it doesn't paint them in nearly as good a light. 41.5 on their T side, 47.5 on their CT side, so those results don't look fantastic. It does kind of point in the direction of a third map here between these two teams. It is a round now where Partizan have saved all their money but carried over all their forced up weapons. So they've got a decent bit to work with here. It's not like this round is an anti-eco. Yeah, what makes that super impressive is that he gets a multi-kill. I mean, normally from that position, you're able to get one kill, but as soon as they know that you're there, you almost always just get instantly traded because there's nowhere to go, no cover to try and use or play around, but he just stands up in the open and he mows down 3. That's a real good way for Partizan to get things going on their CT side. That's a let-off, if you will. Monte going to be kicking themselves as they are at least able to afford a full buyback, and they're going to just try and immediately run it back in towards the same bomb side. Through the flames they go. They're taking quite a bit of util damage as they try and path their way down the vent. They have made their way down successfully, and the bomb carrier has been able to follow suit. Further util being dumped here to try and delay proceedings as long as possible. Azulu goes down in the meantime, but at least they will find the plant.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to do anything with it, though. Although Ryu gets the first one onto Kindo. And then the second, he's just lurking around outside. That's huge damage. Beam is finding Nopsy. Then the follow-up, it is all Monte. They could do a lot with that bomb plant. Absolutely brilliant stuff as they isolate Partizan's round victory and do it quite convincingly at that. The thing is, for Partizan, they were carrying some weapons from that previous round, so you see the money still kind of healthy for them, given that they won off of the saved guns from the force buy. But still, that is a very nice recovery from Monte after getting that bomb planted down to dirt.
Yeah, and you know what? Ryu is nowhere near the bomb site, but boy, does he have a massive contribution in the post plant by finding both of those kills, because that then just forces Partizan's hand to get going maybe sooner than what they would have liked. Weren't able to wait for the smoke on the one side of the ramp doors there to fade before they then commit, so they have to push earlier than what they would have liked because of Ryu's impact, and it's going to be Dragon who gets tested now over at ramp, standing on top of the boxes. He just reigns supreme. Dragon dealing in multi-kills, and in fact some great damage inflicted outside of those 2 kills as well.
This is why I'm still having concerns for Monte, though, because they haven't necessarily been winning the opening duels. Yes, they pull that previous one back. It was very impressive, but again, they lose 2 players towards ramp. 2 of them are below 20 HP that remain of the 3. And it's just not looking good on their approach. Yes, they may walk out of this with another bomb plant, perhaps, if they time it right towards the B site. But it's going to be a lot harder to recover, especially if this kind of continues being a trend here on Nuke. Although, I say that, let's not forget, they already have 3 T rounds, which, I mean, I'd say 5 is a good half on Nuke. So they're more than halfway there. But I still feel like Partizan have a lot to say here on Nuke.
Yeah, we've definitely not seen the best of them yet as they continue to build themselves into this game. If they can win this round here, that'll be a big step in the right direction. How do Monte recover? Do Monte even attempt to recover? Do they just commit to the savior? Wouldn't be the worst option. I mean, they have got Gizmy who's been able to make his way through and towards hell. Now back into lobby they go, straight into 8-Kit's ult though. Honestly, no problem finding both those kills. Gizmy's position compromised, and there's no way for him to get out with his life intact, I don't imagine. Vladimir is the one who's searching and will be the one to find the kill as well. So Partizan close the gap to 1 as we continue to go back and forth.
Yeah, a couple of AK upgrades as well. Very decisive round victory for Partizan, kind of similar to that A approach that happened before where Kindo was spraying down 3, or at least Dragon was spraying down 3. Either way, Nicely done from Aid Kit, who, again, this is my first time seeing him, and not too shabby. I've seen a couple of sequences, honestly, where he's just the only one getting the frags, and one after the other with the AWP, rechambering rounds and locking in. So far, so good.
Yeah, I
Yep.
wasn't particularly high on Aid Kit, but I'm right there with you. We've seen some good sequences from him, I think is a good word to use.
Yeah.
Of course, they've kind of been juggling the AWP around quite a lot. Kindo used to be the AWPer for Partizan, if you remember. Then Depression
That's
came
right,
into the
yes.
team when they benched Emmy. He took over, did Depression, Kindo went back to rifling, and now they got Aid Kit. So it's effectively like the third different AWPer in the past 6 months for Partizan. I wonder if they're going to be able to stick the landing here with Aid Kit.
Feels like it. I mean, more of an unknown, but I really appreciate what he's contributing here. This is a non-starting round. Anti-eco for Partizan. Looks like it's going to be clean again. Ryu spotted out. Bemis trying to hide here on top of Hut. Looking to be cheeky to find one, and well, that won't happen. Kindo takes his head clean off. It goes flying, and so does the round, likely in favor of Partizan, with only Ryu left battling with the Glock, and there he falls.
My concern, though, for Monte is just how solid Partizan look across the board.
Yes.
Like, from top to bottom, all 5 players shooting particularly hard right now. Just been able to carry that form across from Dust 2 into Nuke, so it's going to be a hard-fought, grueling battle here for Monte if they're going to be able to get the job done. Going to have to be close to their best, which they just haven't been throughout this series so far, I'm afraid. Let's see, gun round on the table, open play for Afro, all the AKs, Monte looking to regain their lead.
There's Aid Kit again through the smoke, and the flashbang as well that was thrown to blind Afro. Look where Dragon is. Gizmy's clearing it. Oh, okay. Nice shot from Gizmy. I thought he was going to overlook that, but something tipped him off, and he's like, okay, I should probably clear this. And good thing, too, because otherwise he would have been dead to rights and would have been another 2-man advantage in the early parts of the round for Partizan.
Not sure if he should hold on to the AWP there. Good kill found there from him, but it looks like he's going to keep the AWP in play here. I'm not sure what a necessity that actually is. Now trying to get control and then push into a bomb site could actually be a bit of a struggle with this gun in particular. Minute left on the clock. Does he go back to pick up the AK? Surely that's not why it'd be going in this direction.
No.
Don't have a huge amount of util either.
I thought he might be going to have a look towards outside, maybe catch rotations. Oh, that's another good flash being thrown through. I can't speak. There we go. Vladin gets into cover here and second vent. They're not going to clear this. I think he's probably got a freebie here, if not 2. There's 2 frags for Vladin, making a 3-piece. He's got them all, pretty much, as Nopsy gets the last. Very well done from Partizan. Again, 4 players left standing, and Monte scratching their heads.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, they don't have any heads here in this round, courtesy of Aladdin mowing them all down. Great work there from him. Again, just super sharp mechanics on display there from the squad of Partizan. And it's Monte who now have to eco.
I mean, that's a 2-tiered approach, right? It's one, the flashbang they throw to get Vlad in that position. It was perfect. There was 0 visibility on the side of Monte, and 2, the patience from him to peek at the perfect moment, along with the attention that his teammates were attracting from that push out of Squeaky. It was just so well done overall from Partizan, and that's kind of the trend we've been seeing and talking about so far for the squad too. Trade's going to come in. Azuba gets one with the Deagle.
A bit of a challenge here. I mean, a couple upgrade pistols, a few Desert Eagles in play for the T side. Ryu going to be able to find a frag with his and another. Just too many liberties being taken by Partizan right now. Not just playing the conservative approach against the pistols. Cost them a bit more than what they would have liked. Dragon will be able to pour cold water all over it, though, as Partizan extend their lead to 2, but do suffer some economic damage in the process.
Yeah, I think I'm just worried for Monte, to be honest with you. Like, yes, you get those frags on through. I think I appreciate this patience from Dragon because he knows that they don't have guns yet. He throws that nade to kind of keep them at bay and keep the range advantage with the M4, and it works beautifully to get the last 2. But my concern for Monte is, despite getting those pistol frags, it still looks like Partizan are the ones shooting a lot harder, as you already said. Hey, so I don't know. They're going to go for a quicker approach here into 8. It works. Afro flashbang does so much work. Vladin and Nopsy both gone. Kindo finds one back, but it's a 4v3 advantage for Monte as they re-smoke Mini.
Yeah, healthy grenade there. Problem is it's just unconfirmed damage. Good confidence here from Monte to try and play on the front foot coming into a round that's actually really important for them to make sure that Partizan don't start to pull too far ahead. And Partizan are actually just going to concede the round from here. Despite the fact that they've got money, they're thinking, yeah, well, just because we got money doesn't mean we should go in for the retake anyway. Looking forward to the future. Big round back for Monte.
Yeah. I mean, not just money, though. They have util. They've got a lot going for them if they try for this retake. It's just unconfirmed damage, and you see 8kit collecting onto a zoo where they're hoping to do or get more frags up against Monte to make this expensive for them, but instead they lose Kindo and only get one back. So kind of even trade. 4th round found for Monte. As mentioned, I think they just need that 5 rounds on the board, and they'll be heading into that second half feeling good, but it's not going to be easy all the way up to the finish line, I feel.
They have looked very threatening with those fast A plays, though, I will say. Like, they've come close a couple times, and this time they're actually able to get the round across the line. So maybe a bit of a concern there for Partizan, maybe a bit of a frailty that could be exposed. I mean, that's if Monte have the confidence of running it back again. Oh, whoa. Okay, Kindo caught completely off. Dragon trades, that was a necessity, but there's still a lot of problems.
I mean, Vladden solving them with the spam through the smoke, and then 8kit catches Rio trying to make it towards the B site. He's been good in these types of situations. May even find the second as well once he swings this corner again, but before he does, he wants to toss a bunch of utility. In fact, we'll be playing patiently. I missed the last one standing. Yeah, it's really, really well done, and he gets the last. So well executed overall from Partizan, and I just, again, like how 8kit is playing with the op.
Yeah, fantastic decision-making from him because he recognizes that he does have to kind of take the round by the scruff of the neck with that initial peek, gets the pick, and then I'm thinking he's probably just going to re-peek here, but he doesn't. He realizes that would be overplaying his hand. That would then be ill-disciplined, and he could then give up an important piece of map control if he goes down there. All of a sudden, it's not as rosy for Partizan. So great little micro decision-making from him there.
Partizan still hunting for a dominant lead into that second half. This round could determine whether we're going to see a 6-6, a 7-5, or even an 8-4. A loss here for Monte could be devastating for them. Afro boosted up on top over the smoke and to get visibility, but no one is showing their hand here on the side of Partizan. They are waiting very patiently, hunkered down in deep positions. And that will allow Monte to gain the space in towards Secret, but there are 2 players waiting to greet them. This is such a dangerous approach. Vladden and Kindo do back off a little bit, but it's still tough, and I feel like Monte are going to have their hands full. Another boost.
Yeah, got to make sure that they don't leave themselves too much to do with too little time on the clock. It's going to be kills going back and forth. It's now Vladden who has to stand his ground. He continues to hang around. Out in the open, Bemus reluctant to swing because he knows. He's just seen what's happened to his teammate. He'll suffer the same fate. Bomb dropped in the process. Incendiary to guarantee that control for a few more moments. Gizmi and Ryu, the 2 left, with trying to recover this, and Nopsy does go down the ladder, which is going to cost him his life, but there's now more where Vladden came from. He's got a teammate there to support him. Vladden gets blinded, but that's fine. Kindo is playing anti, so he always would have gotten the kill anyway. And that's a 7th on the board now for Partizan.
I appreciate the effort from Gizmi, and Ryu's still got a chance to frag it out here. No, eventually they just fade off because they realize there's only 10 seconds left. Don't need to fight. It will be, as mentioned, a 7th round for Partizan heading into the 12th and final round of play here in this first half. And, I mean, look at this. Just beautiful shots from Vladden. That's the first. The second as well. Bemis, his shoulder was spotted. That's why Vladden has the edge in that duel. And then Bemis tries to come around, but he can't do anything at all. Afterwards, they set up 2 players there because that was the bomb drop during the incendiary afterwards. Just excellent sequence overall from Partizan. And on the side of Monte, I still have yet to see that round, right? Where they give us a reason to kind of think that they've taken control, or at least some modicum of control on their map pick. Because right now I'm still leaning heavily towards Partizan. Look at Dragon. He's leaning heavily towards his push, and it works out! Looked like he was gonna die, but Bemis can't find his spray. He goes again, double dipping in that situation. Crazy stuff. I didn't expect it, and neither did Monte, because they lose another.
That is egregious, the double dip. That's like eating chips, licking your fingers, and then sticking your paws back in the dip again afterwards while you're sharing the chips with other people. Disgusting, Dragon. But it works. It works the trick. Against all odds, a 4v2 now for Monte to try and deny Partizan doubling up the scoreline going into the second half. And look at 8kid. What a fantastic position. Just continues to find himself in these really good spots. He's only died twice throughout the half.
That's actually nuts. 8kit should even get the last here. He will! 8kit, another multi-kill round, this time with 3. We go into the second half of action, and Partizan still feel like they're cruising along. 8-4 lead as we hit the break.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of A to Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll, Lex account a blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life.
Into the second map of Nuke we go. Now, it was a great display from Partizan, especially considering that it looked like Monte were going to tear ahead at one point. The half ends 8-4 off the back of what was 3-1. Stats don't look great for Partizan on T-side, but it doesn't look like stats mean much in this series.
No, not at all. It feels like we're just looking at the eye test, right? And right now it is being passed in flying colors by Partizan. Now Nopsy and Dragon get a couple back to bring it back to 3v3. Gizmy's in trouble, and Dragon just absolutely demolishes him with a Glock headshot. Ryu's thinking about the timing about going in for this, probably going to wait for the plant, comes out, it's being washed, and he still denies the plant at the very last moment. 8-kit gone. That is huge for Ryu to get. Afro striking as well could result in the round going Monte's way, which they would love to have, but Afro cannot do that. No answer from him means that Ryu's now stuck in a 1v2 with his position known, so he's going to try and readjust, or faked it anyway, but it's still being watched by Vlad, and finally that plant goes down and Ryu is in trouble.
Oh, how much more does Dragon have to do? Already gotten 3 kills in the round. It's not like that's guaranteed at either. Maybe a chance for Ryu. Vlad just jump spotting Ryu. Down Dragon. This is nasty. He's going to stab him in the back to conclude the sequence. 4 kills for him, including the knife frag. Oh my goodness. What a way for Partizan to open up in the second half.
Oh my god, and he's got 18 frags. It's unbelievable how good he's been. Not just here, right? On Dust 2 as well. Dragon was one of the heavy hitters with Vlad, and it's been an impressive series for him. And he just couldn't decide. It's like, oh, knife, lock, knife. All right, let's go with knife. Make some money here. I think he was a little bit stunned in the moment that Ryu completely overlooked the bomb site and didn't even have a peek down. Yeah. I mean, it's the first thing you should do when you're coming down from heaven is make sure no one's on the site, but Ryu getting ahead of himself, and that cost him the round. Now a 9-4 lead for Partizan. Could be double digits again here before Monte are even sniffing close to it. And Dragon, I don't know if he spotted the player in heaven, but look at the control Partizan have.
Yeah, taking things towards outside, trying to make sure they take the longer range duels, let the Mac 10s get the close quarters work done. Vlad just chews up 2, spits them both out. Ryu splitting up the vent there, spits some fire out his 5-7. Able to at least find a kill, but that should be the only frag in the round. Like you say, Partizan going to roll on into double digits, and then they end up just 3 rounds away from finishing off the map.
And the series. Jeez.
And the series, that's true.
This has been a rapid fire series from Partizan.
True. I mean, Monte have only won 8 rounds across both maps so far.
Yep.
Like, they just haven't really pitched up in this game, I think it's fair to say.
No, and even in the 4 rounds they won, I was saying it before, nothing convincing. Nothing like, oh wow, Monte is playing really well compared to, that previous map. But no, it hasn't happened yet. We'll see if we get it on their CT side, which we expect according to the stats. But as we've already mentioned in the opening moments, I'm not sure if the stats mean that much right now. Feels like Monte's having an off series.
Yeah, it certainly does feel that way to me too, especially with Partizan shooting as sharply as they are. Good kill from Gizmy initially, but then an instant trade. Just, I guess, doesn't realize Kindo was on top of him there. Probably wouldn't have put himself in that position. He's having a tough game, but everybody is on the side of Monte. Have to win this gun round to even just try and keep yourself in the contest. It's as simple as that. Big moment here. Pizzu rounds the corner, and Nopsy drops him. Not the end of the world there for Nopsy going 1-for-1.
That's big. That is big for Ryu. Spots out Vlad and trying to get through the vent, but now the readjustment from Partizan's actually really good. They go towards the A site, very slow about their approach. That's Kindo who slipped in and goes down the vent. Did he get spotted? I don't know. No. I don't think so. So he slipped through the vents. Ryu's still watching here in decon. Where does Kindo go? Looks like he'll be heading towards Ryu. Yeah, the bomb has to join him eventually, and Kindo loses the fight, so it's actually just the bomb of 8-kit. He wasn't even close, right?
I'm wondering, what was the plan there? How were they going to try and connect the dots in the round? Just super far apart from one another. 8-kit does have a path up the ladder and towards what's, for the most part, a fake and a bomb site, but he's not too keen to explore in that direction, hoping he can catch somebody off guard towards ramp, but there's nothing on offer. And this should be 10-5. I don't know, does 8-kit even save his AK? Looks like he's going to roll the dice, but Afro should have his number.
He's got to get a move on here. Gonna clear Afro and loses the fight. Afro wins it, and Monte do indeed get a 5th in their first gun round CT side, so a bit of hope perhaps sprinkled in here. And looking at the money, a force buy is going to come through for Partizan, but it may not be the best one. May have been in their interest actually to go for the save after they lose that additional body, but they decide, nope, we're going to send it, we're going to try our best, because we've been hitting a little bit harder, and they pay the price for that.
Yeah, we saw how dangerous they looked with these rounds on Dust, right?
That's true.
So it makes sense that they would roll the dice here again. Tech 9, Mac 10, couple Galils, and a single AK is what they have at their disposal. Chance here for Monte to claw their way back and start to close that gap, because if you win this, it's an anti-eco to follow, and that affords them a bit more breathing room.
You need a string of rounds for Monte. Cannot afford a loss here. Up against the force buy of Partizan again. Look at the heavy presence they have in ramp. Afra and Ryu. Ryu kind of playing, I want to say an off angle, but you know, just not tucked into that corner as much as he usually might be. Flashbangs in for A. They're trying to attract the attention in that direction. There goes a Molotov for ramp, but Nopsy strikes on Afro as they're rotating around. They bit hook, line, and sinker for that fake towards the other site, and that opens up all the space for Partizan towards B. Gizmi alone here over in the cubby, does get one, and then Azuwu finds another, but Gizmi's gonna have to do work. They're kind of scrambling a little bit. They didn't expect that presence, and Gizmi swings around the corner to get Aid Kid. Bomb being thrown down onto the A site. They've got the plant secured, but they need more than that.
How did Monte actually make the retake happen? I know they've got the man advantage, but that doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to win this one. They're taking a lot of time. Oh, Kindo's going to drop off out of heaven. I'm shocked to see him not actually keep himself here. That would have been such a strong position to try and play off of. Nobody even looking in this direction. Kindo goes one and done. Dragon now left in the clutch, and Azuwu will get the trade. If Kindo had just stayed up in heaven, it would have been so much more difficult for Monte to try and go up that ladder. Maybe even impossible. No idea why he's dropped off.
Yeah, no, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You could have just fallen back. It just felt like more of a power position having the high-low setup, right? Than having both players low, because you can deny the space up that ladder, which I think two try to get up there. And I mean, that would have been the end of the round if you just play a little more passively, maybe go, you know, towards the outer part of heaven and hide around the corner. And then when you hear the noise up the ladder or hear the footsteps, you can pop out and do all the damage. But instead makes the choice to drop down. And I think what's even more costly to him is he drops down audibly. They can hear him go down to the site, so they know that heaven's been vacated. That is a mistake from Partizan, one of the more glaring ones I think we've seen throughout this series. There were a couple of instances where they let the clock get away from them on Dust 2, but I think that one, perhaps, like I said, the most glaring, and maybe the one that will affect them the most in this series, because Monte could mount a comeback now.
Yeah. I mean, that's a moment that you're not going to end up in many of those situations where you've actually got quite a bit going for you on the T side of Nuke, and you've really got to seize those opportunities. Like you say, a chance now for Monte to start to fight their way back. Should be able to close the gap to 3, but it's quite important that they don't lose too many players in the process, because even though this is an eco, there's a bit of bite to it, right? 4 Tech 9s, all of them have Kevlar behind them as well.
Lack of head armor could cost them, but as it stands, they're kind of waiting out Monte to see what decision they make here. 45 seconds left. Eventually, you have to send it somewhere. At the end of the day, this is just a half buy, so, I mean, while you could save the armor and the Tech 9s to the next round, that's not the plan. You want to do as much damage as you can to that CT economy that's still fragile. And oh, a TK for Vladin. Ryu gets the second. Kindo could find another one, or excuse me, Aid Kit, but he does not. And Ryu takes care of business. Helped out a little bit by the TK. Afro. Oh. Does he overlook Kindo? I think he's aware of this. He's not. He's not. Kindo gets the frag, picks up an op. Bemis is on notice. Kindo trying to get the advantage on him, but he cannot. It will be a 3v1 in favor of Monte and no bomb control for Dragon. Round's over.
Yeah, but he's not going to get any money here.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's kind of awkward, honestly. I mean, he could buy up a Galil at least. He's not going to have any utility. Someone like Dragon you want on an AK, though. Just getting timed out the round. The lineup here was very nice for Ryu, making sure that he's able to hold his ground. There he gets that follow-up frag onto Aid Kit. Nice attempt from Kindo, but Bemis just keeps himself tucked in, hugging the reactor. Not spotted by the jump peaks, means for a free frag. 10-7. If Monte win this gun round, all of a sudden it feels like it's them that might be, even though they're behind on the scoreboard, it could be them that are in a better position to close out the map.
That's a really nice run boost. That's a very nice amount of space gain. They don't even expect him to be here. There's absolutely no way they know that Aid Kit's over in Mini already. Gets one, not the second. It felt like he had a 2K in that little sequence he was putting together, but at least does the damage onto that second player. And now, Monte are on notice, Hayes.
And they know that damage has been done to Azuwu as well, so they're just peppering the smoke, peppering the wall, hoping that maybe they could continue to chip him down. Not going to happen as the round comes to a bit of a standstill. Kid, quite unfortunate not to have gotten both those kills, because that just immediately wins the round.
Yeah.
Kindo really searching for Gizmi, hoping that he goes back for a repeat here. There's 2 players on the A bomb site currently. So Partizan are going to try and finish the round. It's a very strong position that Azul finds himself in right now. You're almost never clearing this when you try and come through from hut. And then that might set Gizmi up for a kill instantly as well.
Zoo fully flashed. Did they go around this? Not really. It's overlooked by Vlad and completely had it in the palm of his hands, but doesn't come to fruition. Do they still get a plant? I would say probably, unless the spam is perfect, and it would have been if Azul kept on going in that direction. Bomb is down. Oh, Nopsy. What does he do with this? Doesn't get anything. Headshot at the very least onto Ryu. Now it's all up to Dragon, who's been spotted out, so he's probably dead. He's trying to be baited out there by the barrel of Afro, and in the end, will get taken care of. Monte do indeed secure an 8th, and not to mention, this is their 4th round in a row.
Yeah, and they're just looking like a lot more of a unit right now. Good positions being taken up. Azul with some big moments there to get that trade on 8 Kid initially and get the frag on Vladen. Super unfortunate. I wonder if Vladen's playing 4x3, not 16x9. Might have like caught a glimpse of Azul, who would have been completely dead, right, had Vladen spotted him, because he was still blind at that moment. Regains his vision to get the kill. 10-8 and an anti-eco to follow. So for me, it feels like we're trending in the direction of Monte getting the job done here and forcing a 3rd. This is where the mettle of the IGL could also really start to be tested, right? You've lost a couple rounds in a row. It's always a difficult T-side on Nuke, and he doesn't have much experience. This is where we could see those frailties exposed.
Trying to boost up, I think, for a run boost. There it is, yeah. Vladen gets the opener, 2 on Azul. That was over from Squeaky, so this is very promising for Partizan on a round that didn't bring much into. Afro gets one, but he knows he can't overstay his welcome. He's got Ryu support with the rifle. They still have this one likely under their control until Gizmi is lost in the vents. Now Ryu shows his hand too much. Dragon picks up the A1S, and uh-oh, it's not in control at all anymore. At least a return frag from Monte, but they don't know where Dragon and 8 Kid are heading. And it will likely be, oh no, 8 Kid a flank. He lost his teammate, he only has a Glock, but he still makes that Glock sing for a frag on his side. 46 seconds left. If he had the bomb, it'd be a lot more winnable, but he does not. Trying to recover it now, should still be able to get possession of it, though. I don't know if Afra's aware of the fact the bomb was dropped towards B.
Not sure either. He's just on a mission right now. He's a huge wraparound, and it might even just bode perfectly for him. It should, right? Yeah, he spots the gun barrel. Oh, 8 Kid heard the scope in. He's heard the scope in.
Wow.
And he's got a lifeline offered up to him.
That's brilliant.
Take any damage to the molly?
I don't know.
All right. 1v1 chance here. Afro knows exactly where 8 Kid's gone. He's going to tap the defuse. 8 Kid not going to take the bait, at least not initially. Now he knows the defuse certainly not being stuck. Afro opens up the doors, has no idea if 8 Kid's repositioned or not. Afro going to tap that defuse again, trying to draw 8 Kid out, but 8 Kid has smartly been able to reposition in towards control room.
Oh my God.
He's actually going to set himself up on the rafters as well. Afro may now start to panic. He's still fully committed in on double door, and 8 Kid has just outgamed Afro. Smart decision making gets Partizan back to winning ways.
That is absolutely brilliantly played by 8 Kid in the post plan. He gets behind the double door, slips through the Molotov down, and you're right, I don't know how no damage was done, but it definitely delayed Afro from getting to that site as quickly as he wanted to, and as a result, 8 Kid behind the double doors closes it in the face of Afro, and then the reposition is just a 200 IQ play. Like, he was right on the money to go up into control room, gets the advantage. Absolutely no idea from Afro that he'd done that. He's trying to spam the door. He's like, where on earth did this guy go? And then he thinks he's made a mistake and run away, but no mistakes to be made from 8 Kid. Not only has been doing a good job with the AWP in this series, but the decision making has been fantastic. And we complimented him earlier, right? When he could have gone for that re-swing on CD side and instead fell back and waited for the fight to come to him. That's, I would say, another very shining moment for him that adds on to the play that we just saw.
Yeah, and now that gets Partizan in a position where win this round, it effectively should be series over. And it's not even like it's a fantastic round here for Monte. For Masters and MP9, key moment here in the first half for Partizan. This could be their best opportunity to put the game away.
Nope, Afra's going to get the opener though onto Nopsy. That was an aggressive push from ramp into lobby, so I appreciate that Monte at least getting a little more active on their CT side here than they were on Dust 2. It does give them the advantage, but you still look at the util situation and it favors Partizan by a significant margin, not to mention Dragon. Look where he's gotten to. Oh my goodness.
Should be dead. He's heard the break open of the window. Afro just progressing forward. Dragon's going to knife... Oh, does he knife him again? Does he want to leave him alive as long as possible here so that he can allow for his teammates to rotate in position, so then as they get the kill, they're all over that B-bomb site?
Yep. This is absolutely brilliant again. Dragon just waiting and waiting, saying, guys, you're in position. I'm going to go for the knife. There we go. Afro has no idea. Now they're going to rotate in on the side of Monte, but it's going to be on the outside looking in. They may even just go for the eco because the money is not there. I should say safe. Anyway, Kindo finds the headshot on Gizmi. There is a response from Azu, but they got no positioning. They got no chance, it feels like, to get back into this site. They're just going to have to concede the round as much as they like to fight.
Oh, that's brutal. What a play out of Dragon, and it's not like he does anything crazy special. He's just got the confidence to push outside down secret early on, and maybe that's because Afro gets the kill ramp and he's like, okay, well, I know the AWP isn't here, so worst case scenario, I come across a rifler, find some resistance, maybe take a fight, maybe go back. He finds nothing, goes the entire way forward, hears the break open of the window in control room, recognizes that means somebody's probably going to be walking into him, completely none the wiser, doesn't just immediately get the kill though, which is probably what most players would have done in that position, recognizes how he can extract maximum value from that position. At least it's going to be an upgrade for Ryu. He will get the AWP in play. Wouldn't have had the AWP anyway, otherwise, excuse me. So maybe that could be a difference maker.
Perhaps so. But I'm still feeling like Partizan are playing the better Counter-Strike right now. Even the calls are great. I mean, you're right, though. Not necessarily like a crazy call. They're just Dragon deciding, okay, I'm going to send it secret and get in the back lines and just no idea at all. It's just the way he played that, as you already mentioned, was absolutely brilliant. And we'll see if Partizan will close it out here. 4 opportunities to end the series against the Monte squad that we had higher hopes for coming into this one. Maybe still will be solid in future matches, but right now, in Cup number 3 in Europe and ECL, they're looking like they may be on their way out here in this lower bracket. Dragon gets the spot. Oh, is it the frag? Not yet. Throws the nade up. It'll do more damage, but he eventually comes around the corner to get Gizmi, but Azuma will find the trade.
At least they're able to cut Dragon down there before he soars too high. And Afro, quite fortunate to be afforded his life. Hey kid, I think it's the first time he's had the AWP on the T side, as he does try and make his way down secret and set themselves up for a big burst in towards ramp. It's only an MP9 there for now.
Flashbang tossed in. There's another one. Looks like they want to take this ramp control, and they absolutely will, uncontested. Monte completely back off here. 45 seconds. That's Ryu's hanging around a little bit longer, and that is enough to get the frag on Kendo. Is he traded? Looks like, yeah, eventually. I was going to say no, but he can't fade away from that fight with Nopsy, and that will give the HP advantage to Partizan in this 3v3. Azua waits in the shadows here at Decon with only 28 seconds left.
Yeah, he's probably making a play to just straight up try and deny the defuse. Aid Kit and Afro going to cross paths. It's the Frenchman who comes out on top, but Azu's gone down.
Wow.
A bit of a fake plant might have drawn him out there. Bemis with a quick response does get the kill, and Vladden is now all on Nopsy's shoulders. The youngster, the new addition into the team, and he's looking to make a move here as well. He's going to catch Bemis completely off guard down to the 1v1 as Afro with an AWP, a smoke, and a kit. A pretty familiar position as he attempts to clutch on B again.
I mean, this time, the smoke's already down. He's waiting for the cross to come through with the AWP. Knows 100% that Nopsy's in this position. Needs to get that defusal. Taps the bomb. As mentioned, you can't scope in on the bomb anymore. He's waiting and watching. Eventually, tries to stick it. It's going to be found out. Nopsy's got the round and the series in the palm of his hands. A 4K on the round. Again, another masterful play coming through from his side and the rest of Partizan, and it will be over.
Honestly, I'm just scratching my head wondering why has Afro not just stuck the defuse the first time there? He's realized that he can tuck himself in behind the reactor, and he knows Nopsy is still back towards ramp. I think that should have been the more obvious play to be made. I mean, maybe losing the 1v1 earlier, just in his head, living rent-free.
I feel like he threw the smoke a bit too
shallow,
early and shallow. Yeah. Like, it was a bit of a panic that he found himself in. He's like, oh no, this is the same situation as before. What do I do? I have these two pieces of util, and just throws them right away without really lining it up or putting much thought into it. And the result was, the loss of the round. If he just throws that on the bomb, then he has the defusal. I think he has the round as well, and you have Monte still in it. But I mean, overall, could they have won 4 rounds in a row? I'm not sure with the way Partizan were playing here.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not, I think it's safe to say. What a display from Partizan with Nopsy, Aidkit with a fantastic performance as well. They go 2-0 here in the lower bracket, and that means that they will march on in Cup number 3 ECL Season 50 EU as they have eliminated Monte in the process. That means they themselves into the lower bracket semi where they play the loser of Johnny Speeds and Sangirl. I will say, Partizan, completely the deserved victors today.
I mean, I also am impressed with what I saw from Aidkit, along with Nopsy. Both 2 great additions, more unknown, but whoever's scouting here on the side of Partizan deserves a huge pat on the back and some fist bumps as well, because these guys are looking like brilliant pieces to pick up to a roster that was already strong before, and they were put under pressure to find someone to fit here because of the fact that Collins decides to step down. And man, oh man, Nopsy is looking like a good fit for this squad. Not forgetting, they're both still trials, right? They're not necessarily on the roster yet, but they play today like they belong there.
Give them a contract after that performance, man. What a fantastic game indeed. As Partizan will emerge victorious just from start to finish throughout the series. Looked super convincing, and that means they will march on, like I said. As for Monte, it's the end of a grueling run in the lower bracket. I mean, they do pretty well to win the 3 series that they do, but it's not an ideal ending for them. And not just because they lost, but with the fashion that they lost, not really showing up at all on Dust 2 and taking super long to get going. There's only really like a brief moment in the second half where we're thinking, okay, maybe Monte are here now, but then a couple rough clutches not going their way leads to their demise.
Yeah, and the clutch is coming from the newer players too on the side of Partizan, where you'd be like, maybe that's going to be the weakness. No, not at all. They stood on their heads to take care of business as the last players alive in those last 2 rounds. I really did appreciate what I saw overall from them, and I already said it before. I feel like Partizan could very much be the favorites to take it all here.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout, especially with what we've seen from them here today and the series gone by. But that is all we have for everybody as far as EU is concerned. A victory for Partizan means that we're going to be throwing this one to an extended break because it's a 2-0 game. Next region we're going to be covering is going to be South America, where we have got Shinden against Odic lined up, and John and I are going to have the pleasure of casting that game as well. Like I said, it's going to be about 2 hours, guys. I know, I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. It's going to be about 2 hours before we delve into the action of that South American game. So make sure to use the time wisely, grab yourself some food, and then join us for that next game a bit later.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.
till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. 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 Till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow. I'll keep going till my speaker come blow.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account or blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. But you know,